Hey, welcome in, everybody. TinChattin, Peter Hood, Mike Maahs. Mike, we have no shortage of things to talk about this week, my friend.
That's true. Baseball and otherwise.
Yeah, we'll start with the otherwise. Let's just get right into it. We would be burying the lead if we jibber-jabbered like we normally do. Tuesday night, the Fort Wayne TinCaps, first game of a 6-game series against the South Bend Cubs. High-scoring, entertaining game. Was pouring rain, entertaining game to watch. And then, Mike's in the bottom of the 7th. We'll kind of go through it step by step here. It all started when, at the end of the inning, Sam Williams, the TinCaps pitcher, had some words for Delvin Zinn, the Cubs shortstop, who got an infield hit earlier in the inning off of Williams. As the inning ends, Williams walking to the dugout says something. We don't know what was said. Says something to Zinn. Zinn takes exception. There's words exchanged between both teams. A couple guys have to be held back, and then everybody goes back to their dugout. Then, in the top of the 8th, the Cubs seem to retaliate with a pitch thrown near the head of Kelvin Melian. After that at-bat ends, Melian is struck out. He has some words for the Cubs pitcher. The Cubs catcher has some words for Melian, and then Mike, obviously, all you-know-what breaks loose. So, I guess we'll start with your reaction to what you saw on Tuesday night. It was a brawl that captured the attention of all of professional baseball and certainly minor league baseball as well. And have you ever seen anything like that at this level?
Not to the extent where the amount of punches that were attempted and thrown with some hitting. You could tell punches were being thrown with a purpose. I mean, some of these players let their emotions get the better of them from both teams, and in the heat of the moment, any love that was between Fort Wayne and South Bend dissipated. When it broke out, all of a sudden we're seeing all these players to the third base side of home plate, didn't matter what color jersey it was, and just the amount of swings that were taken. And everyone wanted to be Mike Tyson, literally. I'm going to take you out, boom. And unfortunately, those things do happen.
Yeah, and Mike, we just got this information earlier today, a few hours ago, actually. Several TinCaps have been suspended, according to Jeff Sanders of the San Diego Union Tribune, who covers the Padres out there. 5 TinCaps in total suspended as a result of the brawl. Edgar Martinez gets hit the hardest. He gets 10 games. Kelvin Melian, 4. Sam Williams, 3. Justin Lopez, 3. And Augustine Ruiz, 2. South Bend has 7 guys get suspended, including lefty reliever Brandon Hughes, who threw the ball at Melian, and catcher Jake Washer. Their suspensions, I should say, for South Bend range anywhere between 3 and 5 games. Those suspensions will be staggered starting on Friday night. So as of now, Kelvin Melian, Sam Williams have been moved to the suspended list, and Edgar Martinez has been reassigned. Mike, as we focus on the actual in between the lines, what's happening with the Fort Wayne TinCaps, continue to be up and down. You said consistently inconsistent last week, and that seems to be the best way to describe it. 3-game losing streak going into last night. They were able to snap that with a rain-shortened win over the South Bend Cubs. But 8-12 right now, in the bottom, in the cellar of the division standings, and it just seems like they're still trying to find their footing a little bit.
I think the key element is the bullpen that needs to improve. In the first 2 games of the South Bend series, the TinCaps had leads. And at 8-12, as you said, Fort Wayne in the basement in the 6-team Eastern Division of High A Central, but they're only 3.5 games out of first.
Yep, everybody's bunched up.
Yeah.
So obviously still working out the kinks a little bit. Like you said, bullpen needs to improve. You'd like to see probably a couple of guys start to swing the bat a little bit better, but one guy who is swinging the bat well right now, got off to a really slow start. Grant Little, in his second season with the TinCaps, he was here in 2019 as well. Mike, going into play on Friday night on a 5-game hit streak, and not only is he hitting the ball, he's hitting the ball with guys on base, has 7 runs batted in those 5 games.
Let's take it one step further. We're talking offensively. and Little, the former Texas Tech Red Raider, doing well at the plate, he's also doing well in the field. He has played left, he has played center. A couple nights ago, actually in the homestand, he threw a runner out at the plate trying to score on a base hit. He covers a lot of ground. And so he's doing it both ends, with the glove in the field, at the plate with the bat.
Yeah. On that note, Grant Little is our special guest in TinChattin this week, and we start our conversation with what life is like on the road as a minor league baseball player right now.
I enjoy back in 19, we didn't have the 6-game road trips. We had, it was 4 games. So I like the 6 games better because, it gets you a chance to get settled in, and, it gives you 2 extra days where you're not on the road and you can kind of get settled into, where you're staying, and sort of, develop somewhat of a routine every day that would be similar to what you do at home. But, we get to the field at 2:30 every day, and then, we get our bodies ready to go at 7 o'clock every night. So, that's pretty much every day for us right now.
For a lot of guys, May 4th or whatever opening day was the first time they had played in a professional baseball game in 18 months, 19 months, whatever it was. For you, though, you were a little bit different. You actually went and played professional baseball in Australia over the winter. Talk to me about what went into that decision to do that and what that experience was like for you.
Well, I just wanted to play. It's been so long since, we got to, play like together as a team, and, you can only, work out and train so much. And I feel like I was at a point where, I was, just really wanting to, play the game, and no matter, where it was in the world. So, I asked if the Padres could send me somewhere, and they set me up with a great organization with the Adelaide Giants. And, it was one of the most fun times I've ever had playing baseball. It was unbelievable. The people over there, they're so nice, and, it couldn't have been any better than what I expected.
Yeah. What's the biggest difference between American baseball and Australian baseball?
It's not a very popular sport over there. That's probably the biggest difference. In America, it's one of the 4 major sports. In Australia, it's not very popular at all, which it was weird to me just because, obviously being in America, but, we had some people there though. They had a good time, because there is pretty much, no restrictions over there because, they have the virus contained. So it was, there was a couple of games where we had, a couple thousand people, but, yeah, I would say just people really didn't know much about like what we were doing or why we were over there. It was, it was a little different.
You obviously grew up in Texas, Abilene, I believe. You went and played at Texas Tech. You got to live, a dream that a lot of kids dream of when they grow up playing baseball, get to play in the College World Series. I guess how would you describe kind of your upbringing in baseball and what that experience was like growing up in Texas and then, getting to live out your dream at Texas Tech?
Yeah, I was born in Abilene, but I really didn't really live there that much. I grew up in Midland, Texas, which is like an hour and a half west of Lubbock, which is where Texas Tech is. But I come from my dad's side's a big basketball family. So my dad played at Baylor basketball. My uncle played at Texas Tech, and my other uncle played at Oklahoma. And my cousin just got done a couple years ago playing at Oklahoma. So yeah, we come from a big basketball family, but I didn't inherit the height that my dad's side. My dad and his brothers are all at least 6'4". So yeah, I always thought I was going to play basketball, but I'd say things worked out in my favor. I love playing baseball, and it's just funny how you think that you're going to do something your whole life, and then things start to happen that sort of shifts you in another direction, and that's kind of what happened in baseball. You know, I think, like I said, I think I made the right choice.
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, you're going to be a second-round pick by the Padres and have spent the last few years in their organization. Right now, where do you feel like you're at in terms of your development, and how have you seen yourself grow during your professional career with the Padres?
Yeah, I think more so than anything, I think mentally, I'm miles and miles ahead of where I was when I first got here, which, I mean, when I got drafted, I was 20 years old, so I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. Now that I'm 23, I'm a little older, a little more mature. I think I'm more equipped to handle failure than I ever have been. You know, one thing for me was realizing that, you know, baseball is just, it's a crazy hard game. Like, it's ridiculously hard. And, you know, just telling myself that, you know, it's not the end of the world, you know, if you don't get a hit or you don't, you know, have the result that you're looking for, you know, and just realizing that you're going to, like, there's always going to be tomorrow. So I definitely say nothing really changed, like mechanical or anything like that, but it's more the mental side of the game is, I feel like that's where I've grown leaps and bounds.
Our thanks to Grant for taking some time to catch up with us from his hotel in South Bend. Mike, as we look ahead to the TinCaps, what's coming up on the schedule, hopefully can finish out this series strong against South Bend. Again, right now in last place, but a couple of wins here on Friday, Saturday, Sunday could change that as they come home. And then you'd like to make some hay over the next couple of weeks. You got 12 home games over the next 13 days starting on Tuesday night.
Yeah, the Cedar Rapids Colonels will be the only other team in the Western Division besides South Bend that Fort Wayne will see this year. And they come to town for 6 games starting Tuesday night. Then there'll be the off day on Monday, and then the Lake County Captains will come to Parkview Field for 6. So hopefully more fans will be allowed to come into the ballpark. I know Mike Nutter had spoke about that last week.
Yep.
If things continue to improve, and hopefully they can enjoy what we like to call home cooking. 12 of the next 13 games after this South Bend series ends on Sunday night.
And hopefully the weather's a little nicer next Friday so we can get back out to the ballpark. Not great today.
That would be nice.
Yeah. He's Mike Maahs. My name is Peter Hood. Appreciate you joining us, as always, in TinChattin, and we'll be back same time, same place next week in the locker room.